Welcome back to the channel, everyone. After 2 days of uploading rants and baby stomping complaining about Tekken, I thought I should go back to what I do best and talk about the story. Now, I do a lot of lore breakdowns. I have a whole playlist dedicated to each individual character. And looking through that playlist, I realized that I didn't cover Heihachi, and I thought it would be really cool to do some digging and see what I can find. I went to Wikipedia and I took screenshots of his story and just everything that was important. But I also found some tweets from Harada. Now these tweets range from current all the way back to Tekken Tag Tournament 2 days. So we have a variety, and I think looking at all of this information as a whole, it gives us a very good idea of whether or not he'll be in Tekken 8, because I know that's a big question that's on a lot of people's mind. Will Heihachi be there? He is one of 4 characters who've been in every single game. Paul Phoenix, Yoshimitsu, Nina Williams, and Heihachi never missed a main series game. Before we dive into the Wikipedia, 2 things that I want to mention. One, Mecha Heihachi. I think it would be cool if they introduced Mecha Heihachi into the game. You could keep his moveset, and then also you don't have Heihachi returning and taking up a big chunk of the story. The other thing that I want to talk about, I found a video. Now this video is a part of the Tekken patchy slot machines. I've been talking about that recently. They've been releasing a lot of trailers, but this one, it was a brief moment where it looked like it was showing Heihachi rising out of lava. Now there is no context here. Is he rising out of lava, or is this just some imagery suggesting that he will return? So what I want to do now is read a little bit of the Wikipedia just to really understand who Heihachi Mishima is as a character. And then I want to talk about some of these tweets from Harada. So the wiki says, Heihachi Mishima is a fictional character of Namco's Tekken fighting game series, serving as its main antagonist. He was the protagonist of Tekken 2 and Tekken 7. He is opposed by many of the relatives who wish for his death and to take over the Zaibatsu. This happened across the series, and one of the creators of Tekken, Harada, has called it a family feud.
Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Heihachi's backstory and motives are revealed in Tekken 7, which is said to be his final appearance in the story. Now, I have the tweet that Wiki is referring to. We'll talk about it in a second. But I think this paragraph overall gives us a really good idea of what Heihachi stands for. Tekken series director Harada has stated that Heihachi is his favorite character in the series overall, stating that while focus has been placed on his appearance, he found the character philosophy more interesting, and that in the series he was a perfect portrayal of the evil that lurks in men's heart, an evil far more hideous than any made-up monster. And this is something that I also was talking about when I did my motion picture breakdown. I kind of had a segment in there where I was breaking down his philosophy and just how the character thinks, because if you pay attention to not what he's doing but why he's doing it, it's so deep there. And I think they did an incredible job with the philosophy behind Heihachi.
Don't you get it? The only way to truly salvage this disgusting world is to destroy everything on it so a new world can be rebuilt.
I know what I must do. I will shred this universe down to its last atom, and then create a new one, teeming with life.
In response to the claims that the story of Tekken was complicated, Harada denied, as he saw it as a simple struggle between members of the Mishima family. Heihachi's story and traits are based on Harada's history with his father. Harada was born in 1970 after World War II. However, Harada claims that in that period, parents were harsh with their children in Japan. As a result, Heihachi was portrayed as the antagonist father to his son, something that the Japanese players could relate to. Heihachi's power in the form of the Zaibatsu was based on an imperialistic Japan. Furthermore, Heihachi is Tekken's personification of wartime Japan. See what I mean? This gets so incredibly deep. And the part there where it's talking about Harada and his father, I won't go too much into detail, but I do know that at one point in time, Harada's parents were upset at him for being a game developer. I don't know exactly what they wanted him to do in life, but when he was making games, when he was doing Tekken, they were very, very upset. And I kind of wonder how they feel now, because Tekken 1 and 2 were great games. But when he came in and started in Tekken 3, Michael Murray, and Tekken 4 or 5, they carried this game multiple generations. Let's talk about some tweets. Heihachi's worldwide ranked usage data, March 1st to 31st, 2021. This is for Tekken 7. 18th place. I always say everyone who is placed 20 and under is in very, very good positioning. When you talk about creating a new roster and possibly making it 36 or 28 or something like that, those top 20 most popular characters are prime candidates to return. Talking about the age, because in the Tekken teaser that we got, we did see, just by looking at Kazuya's face, that some time has passed. I don't know how much, but right now in Tekken 7, Kazuya is 49, Lei is 48, Heihachi is 75. Looking at how much Kazuya aged from Tekken 7 to 8, I would say it has to be 5 years, maybe 7, something like that. I would say 5 years. So that would put Heihachi at 80, which Jinpachi, Wang, both of those characters are in the hundreds and they're still competing, right? Now this tweet is very important. March 4th, 2017. So this is like literally when Tekken 7 was being promoted, when Tekken 7 was being released on consoles. Harada says, "Not everything is over, but Mishima confrontation between Kazuya and Heihachi will be ended by the death of either one." So with this tweet, Harada is basically saying that there's still more story to come. It's not everything is over. There's still story to tell, whether that be with Lars, with Jun, with Kazumi, with Akuma. Who knows what they have in store? But he does confirm that the fight, the ongoing battle between Kazuya and Heihachi is over. The death of Heihachi is the end of it. Now, I think regardless of how you look at this, there will be a giant hole left inside of the community, and I don't know how they can replace that. Heihachi is a very important character. Very. The next tweet says, Heihachi is the only person who knows from who the Devil Factor started. And considering that this tweet was made on August 22nd, 2011, I think this is referring to Kazumi and or the Hydro clan. Picking back up with the wiki, I want to continue reading this. After Tekken 6, Heihachi's voice actor, I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'll just skip it, but it says passed away. In order to include the character once again in a spin-off, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Namco hired a new voice actor who would fit into the character. The voice selected was Unsho, I believe is how you say that. Tekken 7 story mode was supposed to conclude the long struggle between Kazuya and Heihachi. In further teasers of the game, Harada stated that in Tekken 7, Kazuya or Heihachi would die in their final fight. In 2016, Harada commented he had his own family, and as a result, he compared it with the violent characters from Tekken who are constantly fighting each other, Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya. He viewed this type of family as too hard in comparison. When asked about the final fight between both Kazuya and Heihachi, he called it a major milestone in the storyline. Think of that. A major milestone. The tipping point, the turning point, the climax. There's so many different words you can use to refer to this. As he was surprised by how extended the rivalry between the two characters has become, due to the franchise's current popularity, and thus felt it was necessary to end this in a moral fight. So here Harada is kind of referencing something that I always talk about. All of these games so far has been focused on Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya punching each other. And even Harada himself is seeing how, I want to use the word repetitive, or how the cycle is never ending. And the purpose of Tekken 7 was to break that cycle. And I honestly think them breaking that cycle allows Tekken 8 to be something new, something unique, something different, fresh. I have another set of tweets from Harada that I want to read, and then we'll talk about the reception. The first tweet that I'm going to talk about, this one has more so to do with Lars, but I still think it's kind of funny because it relates to Heihachi. Responding to someone that says, "Buff Lars." Harada says, question mark, "His wig?" Nightmare says, "I thought this was a joke on Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Lars is now ruined." Harada responds to this and says, "That's joke. But remember, Heihachi and Lars don't have devil genes." Now what Harada is referring to in this instant, there's a recent post, I'll try to find it, but basically the devil gene prevents baldness. And when I seen this, I thought it was a joke, but I guess it's actually canon. And it would kind of make sense because Jin and Kazuya both have this nice, luscious hair. It's slicked back, it's spiked. And then Heihachi, his hair is gray. It looked like it's frizzy. And you kind of wonder, if Lars is wearing a wig, what does he look like without it? I have a tweet here from Harada. This is sort of mentioning the passing of both Heihachi's voice actors. The voice actor, Unsho, of Heihachi has died. We have lost Heihachi's voice actor, I don't know how to pronounce that, a few years ago. And we're losing Heihachi Mishima on the story of Tekken 7. It's sad. And this is kind of like the sad theme with Heihachi. Not only did we lose two incredible voice actors, but the character itself. But at the same time, neither will those voices or the character be forgotten. I think that's what's important to remember. The final tweet that I want to talk about says, "Does Kazumi Tiger has a name?" Harada says, "Yes, that tiger once had a name. Currently, Kazumi and Tiger are ghosts killed by Heihachi." So this is kind of interesting. Early on in Tekken 7's lifespan, right, this tweet is 2016, Kazumi and the tiger were supposed to be ghosts, but I guess instead of doing the whole ghost route, they just made them flashbacks, and then on the roster they're just their younger selves. I think it's kind of funny too that not only did Heihachi take down Kazumi, but also the tiger. That's kind of ruthless. The reception says, Heihachi has been a popular character. In 1996, Japanese magazine, Gamers magazine named Heihachi the 15th best character of the preceding year. And in December 1997, he placed 40th on their list of best video game characters. Skipping down, I want to talk about some of these quotes. The same site enjoyed the narrative of Tekken 2, calling his ending as the craziest moment in the Tekken series, as he throws Kazuya into a volcano. Skipping down a little bit more, it says, he was listed as the 78th most dastardly near duel. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I just love the way it looks. I can't pronounce it, but I love it. Skipping down a little bit more, Heihachi as the third top badass old folk, with comment focused on his role within the story. The same site also named him as the third gaming richest jerk for having the 10th most impractical hairstyle in gaming and the third gaming hero you didn't realize was dead the whole time. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I think that's going to conclude this video on Heihachi.
Today, you'll find people mistaking their own greed for truth and eating the planet out from under them and condemning themselves to total annihilation.
There is some other things in here, but I felt like this is pretty much where we're at right now. Like I said at the beginning, I do think Mecha Heihachi can come in to keep the fighting style alive. But as for bringing him back into the story and restarting the whole Mishima family feud, I think that is not the way that the Harada is going with the story. He clearly states in this wiki and also sources to the tweet that that's not what they're doing, right? And I honestly think it's the correct way to go. The community obviously want characters like Jun Kazama to come back. They want their main characters to show up. Yoshimitsu, Paul Phoenix, Baek Dusan, Harang, and Brian Fury. All of these great characters that's never been featured in the main story. We want them to show up and have an impact. But you can't do that if the family feud between the Mishimas keep on going. So that's it. That's my breakdown of Heihachi. Check out the playlist. I have more characters in there. Jun Kazama, Baekdu-san, a bunch of characters. Lucky Chloe. That's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.